This segment of Panther Sports Talk is brought to you by CFU, the power of service.
Darin Heideman's 132 tackles during the 2005 season ranked in the top 10 in UNI history. He was the leader of the Panthers' tough-nosed defense that year, but it was the total team effort and determination that made that year's defense one of the toughest in school history.
I think we were a lot of bend but don't break. We would give up some underneath stuff, let them move the field a little bit, not really let them, but they would move the field on us. But once we got down to the goal line, red zone, we were really stern, had a lot of turnovers in the red zone.
Obviously, Western Kentucky, they came up big multiple times. And then, Southern Illinois, I think we scored, and we needed them to get one stop, and they got it. I remember Heideman, I think he tackled R.K. Whitlock right around midfield, 4th and 5, to win the game. We trusted them to get stops, and they did it.
We were physical. We had some big linebackers that hit hard. Our safeties, me and Parsons, we would hit, even our smaller corners. I mean, if you catch the ball, you were going to feel it.
Heideman and Kuipke were like the Bash brothers. Like those two guys, if you just were planted in during that middle of the season, you would think that these guys were brothers or had been playing together since high school. I mean, there'd be the ones, like Heideman would make a big hit and Kuipke's right there, like hyping him up. Probably if Farley could create two linebackers, he'd create Kuipke and Heideman all day long.
Hard-nosed Mike backers. If you could draw a Mike backer, you draw Kuipke. He looked like one, he played like one, okay? Where Heideman was Council Bluffs, St. Albert's, guy that came in here under short, but I tell you what, played with so much heart and had that determination that leaked into everybody. So
I just feel like we knew you were going to get it done. They were going to get the stop that they needed to get. Like I said, they weren't flashy, but I remember Parsons, he was smaller than I was. He was 6 foot, 170 if he was lucky. And he would just be flying around out there, just diving at people's knees, making tackles. And Kuipke he was strong as an ox. And Stenzer would be fighting through the pain and just battling in the trenches. And, those guys they were just tough. They were just a really good, tough group of dudes.
And then the two ends were John Herman and Jordan Lacey. Because now I go back and remember Jordan Lacey, getting ready to play Ricky Santos in New Hampshire. The ends were the difference of that game plan of being able to stop him and stop the new style offense, which was just coming out at that time, Chip Kelly's offense. And our two ends, Lacey and Herman, were the ones that were a big part of shutting that down.
Fun group of guys. Every time they'd get a sack, they'd be doing the lynch mob. From Coach Banks had him doing that for years, and it was fun, the enjoyment and the excitement that core of defensive linemen had every time they'd get to the ball. Then you had All-American Dre Dokes. You had Parsons back there, was an All-American next year, I think. It was a great group of guys, all smart back there. That's what helped us out. And if we had last-second checks, we all communicated really well, and we played really well together.